What is good? We're back. We've got a special live edition today because we couldn't help ourselves. It's free agent frenzy. We got all sorts of things changing, landscapes changing, how maybe picks are allocating draft picks potential on what positions potentially changing today. But things came at us super hot and heavy, like Jake Jarmel and Elaine Bennis. If you're not a Seinfeld person, you don't understand that reference. But I think we need to jump right into it just because these are sort of our first takes does not mean they'll be the last on these players, right? But I think Kenny Walker was the most exciting for the day, whether we like it or dislike it. That's what we're here to find out, right? Jeremiah, Chev, how we doing today, boys?
Man, couldn't be happier, dude. So happy. This is like Christmas.
Christmas, baby. Chev's got the black Titans hat on, though, so I don't know how he's feeling today. Hey, you good?
Well, I just really want to be malleable and pliable and really make sure that I am getting angular access to all of the information that's available to us today.
Hey, that's right.
Yeah, they love that angular access.
You got to get if you're not getting angular access, you're leaving somebody dissatisfied, I'm sure.
Hey, I just want to know what all this is going to impact Antonio Williams' market. Just got to know.
That's right. Well, hey, that was the show. That was the show we were supposed to do tonight was rookies and talking. But hey, we're gonna get in here. We got some people in the chat already. We got Ja Webb. We got Marcus. We got Shane. We got the Mano Mitch. What's up? Chiefs and Saints knew they were gonna be well. All right.
That's a good point. Good point.
Shane, the Saints, Chiefs and Saints knew Love was going to be gone already. So hey,
that's right.
That leaves us with Kenny Walker. Kenny Walker to the Chiefs. How do we feel about that? Now we've gotten a different offensive coordinator in there. So how does what Bieniemy wants to do link up with some success that maybe Kenny had or didn't have in Seattle, Chev?
I mean, I'm on the verge of a spiritual experience thinking about Eric Bieniemy coaching up Ken Walker. I just tweeted that this feels a lot like when Josh Jacobs signed with the Packers and people were like, well, his efficiency metrics have declined and he has a very low success rate. And it's like, all right, that's cool. Watch this motherfucker play football and make your opinion based on that.
Yeah.
And I think that this is a smash spot. Like I said, there's a very vocal contingent that say Kenneth Walker's not that good. Kenneth Walker didn't deserve. Chief keep ain't talking about this. Chief keep talking about that. Shut the fuck up and watch Kenneth Walker play football. Like that's what I feel. That's how I feel about it. This is a smash. Like I said, it feels just like when Josh Jacobs signed with the Packers a couple years ago, and people were like, I don't know if he's that good. I don't think he's gonna be. Yeah, watch this. I am really excited about it.
It's does the scheme fit and can he stay healthy? Those are really the two biggest questions, at least for me. I think the only question really of whether or not he's going to be a top 5 player or outside of that is if he's healthy or not, right? At least to me, because I think we saw through this playoff stretch how good what we've all been expecting for Kenny Walker for so long, and we finally got it, and they gave him the backfield. And so now there's really nobody in the way for Kenny and this backfield. The question is how far does Kenny jump up in some rankings and whatnot here? Kenny Walker right now coming in at 58 in the FF Dynasty Crowdsource Rankings. I'm assuming that's going to be shooting up when we look at his 3-day average come Wednesday, potentially on the live show there. So excited to kind of review that. But Jeremiah, what's your thoughts on Kenneth Walker and how this fit is in Kansas City?
Hey, if you were to tell me you can get prime Nick Chubb who can catch passes, would you take it on the Kansas City Chiefs? Absolutely. And that's Kenneth Walker. 2 seasons ago, 46 receptions when they actually utilized him somewhat properly. We had a dick-ass usage last year between Charbonnet and Ken Walker. And now we're just going to get unbridled, angular access to Kenneth Walker goodness. Absolutely. Look, the Chiefs had to do this song and dance. I was thinking about it today. At the beginning of their run, it was Kareem Hunt balled out, right? And then, of course, he had what happened with him, his trouble. And then it was down to, hey, you got fat, you got rich, First round pick, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 32 overall. The Chiefs invested highly in the backfield, got mixed results, bad results. Then they go all the way to the 7th round, pendulum swing to an Isaiah Pacheco, and they got away with it for a while. And then this is just a verdict on the backfield for the Chiefs, the front office saying, look, we want a guy like Kenneth Walker. We want a home run hitter. And you have to read the tea leaves. Where do teams reveal their intentions? It's at the draft, during trades, free agent signings. Well, at the trade deadline, too, remember the Chiefs were in on Breece Hall. So this is a second year imprint, year over year, where they go towards somebody like a Kenneth Walker. And you get Kenneth Walker. This is just a firm conviction that the Chiefs are in on him. And you want that. We're not going to have any, back and forth with a Zach Charbonnet. That's gone. So to me, wheels up, I think on underdog in the best ball streets, we're going to soar up to the first round. Ooh. What would hold you back from the Chiefs offense, the nut landing spot? You just got it in free agency instead of somebody like Jeremiah Love in the draft. As somebody in the comment had alluded to, well, you go and get your guy, and why not Kenneth Walker balling out? So I think he's going to shoot and soar way up boards.
Chev, just to go back to how Bieniemy runs his offense and his running backs, you feel confident in this fit?
Yeah, I think it's it. He's gotten the best out of some all-time great running backs. We just saw DeAndre Swift solve his problem with running between the tackles, after being coached up by the great one that is Eric Bieniemy. On top of that, I think it's just a boom for the offense as a whole. And if we're gonna get the full Monty, the fully realized, fully actualized version of Kenneth Walker catching passes from an all-time great quarterback with an all-time great play caller and one of the best running backs coaches that we've seen, I don't understand. This feels too big to fail. Like I said, we're going back to the Josh Jacobs paradox of a few years ago, where all of a sudden Josh Jacobs has a bad season, goes out, gets a bag in free agency, and people want to cite efficiency metrics and all this other. And it's just, hey, can this dude play football? Is this guy unequivocally in the best environment that he's been in to play American tackle football?
Yeah.
Yes. Who is the backfield competition? It's my guy,
right.
Brashard Smith, RIP.
It might not even be RIP though. He could in all seriousness,
yeah.
But
I do think, and I'm not gonna encourage people to go out and buy Brashard Smith, but you could go out and buy Brashard Smith because there's a chance that he's still going to be able to catch passes and have some sort of significance moving forward. And if something unfortunate happens with Kenneth Walker, there could be a bigger role. But I'm really excited about this. It just felt fake. I couldn't believe it. I kept checking to see if it was like The Onion or, something like, somebody cloned Ricky Scoop's account and made something up and everybody ran with it. I didn't know what was going on. But when I saw that it was real and Ian Rappaport and Shefty and all them came out with it, oh yeah. Yeah, I've been bricked up for more than 4 hours about this.
Yeah, this is, there's some people that are like, is it going to even really mean anything with the Chiefs? And we've been doing this for so long. We have been doing this for so long, but Andy Reid has also been good with running backs. It's just been a little slow the last couple of years, and they badly need this and came out and recognized like, hey, we need a run game. People just aren't changing up what they're doing because they're not scared of us running the ball anymore. And this is a huge potential cog in the wheel, and you get Bieniemy back, who is, had success in Chicago, like you mentioned, Chev, last year, getting that running back room ready. Monungai gave him a lot of flowers. So I think this is all signs good for Kenneth Walker right now at RB14 in the crowdsource rankings, Superflex tight end premium. I was expecting him to kind of jump up to James Cook when he was going to be a free agent, and from what we saw in the Super Bowl, and it hasn't gone there yet. Is that where you guys kind of expect this to start rising up to, like, somewhere like underneath the Etienne tree here? Is that fair, or is it too much, or what do we think, Jeremiah?
I think it's fair to put him pre-show. I was thinking in my head, Jonathan Taylor, very about even with somebody like a Jonathan Taylor. I think you could argue that Jonathan Taylor may be too low on here in comparison to somebody like a Breece Hall, where Breece Hall, it's not mapped out that he's got some bullish nut landing spot. We have Kenneth Walker, who's there. Jonathan Taylor, last I checked, is in a great situation. So I disagree a little bit with the Breece Hall ranking. Travion Henderson, I think, is a little bit cart before the horse. So in this patch, I would say Bucky, Taylor, and Kenneth Walker could shift up just a little bit closer to James Cook. So to your point, closer to James Cook, can Kenneth Walker get there? Yes.
Yeah. Let's do a couple swipes on old Kenny 3 sticks over here, but I do firmly believe that Kenny will be kind of rising up into that RB 7, 8, 9 range, kind of like you're talking about. But I agree. I think JT's a smidge low here. All right. Oop, I did JT swipes. Sorry about that. Let's get back to Kenneth Walker. Let's get a couple of swipes in on Kenny 3 sticks here. All right, Kenneth Walker or Luther Burden?
You answer this one. Only you can answer this one.
Only I can answer this one. I mean, I think I got to go with my boy Kenny. These are like my picking children. I'm going with Kenny Walker, I think. What do you guys think?
No way.
Yes.
There's no way you're going to do it. You're going to do it?
I'm going to do it.
Hey, Casey, just the cope is you can go and draft somebody like Antonio Williams in your rookie draft. Okay.
That's right. What do you think, Chev?
I mean,
or Kenny?
This is Kenneth Walker, man. We just got we're gonna get such an insane boost in value to what Kenneth Walker's prospects are now. And there's people questioning when is Mahomes gonna be ready? When is brother, if there is no Mahomes, that means that there's probably gonna be about 27 touches a game for Kenneth Walker. Like what are we doing here? We win if we win, and then we win some more when we win. Like, what are we doing? So, yes, it's Kenneth Walker.
We're going Kenny over Bucky, and we'll touch on some Bucky a little bit later, right? We're going Kenny over Bucky.
We're going to touch on. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we saw what happened with, what was it, Kenneth Gainwell? Did he go to Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Kenneth Walker or Jordan Love?
Superflex tight end premium. You got to go J Love.
I'm going Walker.
I'm riding with you, Jeremiah. All right, this is Chev picking against children. We got George Pickens or Kenny Walker.
George Pickens.
Smash George Pickens.
If it's George Pickens in Dallas for sure, yes. Yeah. Which it looks like.
It looks like it is. I'm sticking with Kenny 3 sticks and I'm clicking. So suck it, boys. Chase Brown or Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker.
Can we picking? These are why the swipes are really doing it to me tonight.
But they'll be in a tier fair enough close.
I agree. Me and Chase have been riding together for a while, and I had to stick up for Kenny. So here we go.
You're younger, Walker. Got the bag earlier. Yeah, there's no reason to go Chase Brown unless you're Chase Brown's twin brother.
All right, last one. Omar Cooper or Kenneth Walker. So round the 1, 8, or 9.
I dare you to click Omar Cooper here.
It's Kenneth Walker, right?
Look, 17 teams love and visited Omar Cooper, but this is hands down. It's Kenneth Walker.
All right. I said one more, but Tyler Warren, tight end premium, or Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker.
I'm going Tyler Warren. If it's more than 0.7, if it's 0.75 tight end premium or better, I'm going Tyler Warren.
In this version, it's usually 0.5, right?
I'm walking here.
You're walking. All right. I'm walking here. All right. Let's keep it moving here, boys. Somebody asked, what does this mean for Sharbs? So what does this mean for the Seattle side? And we won't take every single one on each side here, but this one is interesting. Algier signed, Rico signed. There's some of these other guys signed. Like, what do the Seattle Seahawks do, and how are we viewing Charbonnet right at the moment?
That is one of the most nebulous assets out there in the dynasty space right now, because it should be, if Sharbs was healthy, everybody would be in the streets with their pants off. But now we know that they're going to add some sort of competition. Rachaad White's still out there. My guy Jerome Ford is still out there that we talked about, I believe, on that show a little while back.
Sean Tucker's still out there.
Sean Tucker's still out there. There's still some guys that could have some sort of value that I don't think people are really giving it enough credit for. But I would be interested to see how he comes back, because this is bag season for him, right? This is the last year of his rookie deal. We want him to perform well when he gets back on the field. I think that this pretty much just kind of this to me signals that they're going to add someone potentially for cheap in free agency, and then they're going to double down with insurance in the draft. Either early or late day 2, early day 3, kind of what their MO has been with their running backs for the last 5 or 6 years or whatever. And it's just it could turn into a muddy mess that Charbonnet could be the backfield leader for when he comes back. I don't know. I've got to get some more information about, I guess we won't have it. We'll have that information when we have it. But to me, Zach Charbonnet, one of the most, it's kind of choose your own adventure, because if you bet on him and it's just him and a day 3 running back, I think Zach Charbonnet is good enough to hold that guy off and handle the workload. But if they add Sean Tucker and they add something in the draft, then you made that bet and you bet on the wrong horse because you lost.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a tricky situation with the Sharbs thing. It seems like it'd be a really good buy. Maybe it's also a decent selling opportunity here. He's always been a tough one to market value, right? It's kind of threading a needle. On one side, he could be a buy. On one side, he could be a sell. Jeremiah, give me some Seahawks backfield talk, and then we'll move on to Etienne.
3 names that make me salivate, because now we're on the other end. We got Kenneth Walker clearly out, and Zach Charbonnet, when will he return, right? So there's an opening. The door's cracked. Emmett Johnson, Jonah Coleman, Jadarian Price. There are 3 running backs in a similar tier of these rookie mocks that we have out here. And any one of those 3 who could go to Seattle, that would just be a nut landing spot. For the pass catching ability, be somebody like Emmett Johnson and his long speed. But then Jonah Coleman's 3-down skill set, I think, would just be beautiful out in Seattle.
All right, well, we're about to shift over to Etienne, but this one just popped up. Charbonnet or Bhayshul Tuten?
Tuten.
Rootin' Tuten, Bhayshul Tuten.
All right. Well, we'll get to I want to talk about the Tuten side of things for sure. Jaden Reed or Charbonnet?
Jaden Reed now.
All right.
It's going to have to be until Charbonnet comes back.
Seems like we're everybody's not too sold on the Charbonnet value right now. So,
well, just,
all right.
Okay. There's just before we move on, there's just way too much uncertainty about what his situation is beyond 2026 and what his health situation is. And if you've watched football for long enough, good and well John Schneider's going to add something to this backfield of significance. It's not going to be Zach Charbonnet and George Helani out there toting a tater. It's just not.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I agree.
Instead of going after Charbonnet, go look over and shop in some Jonathan Brooks. Okay. There's a dent in the can. There's opportunity for more of a throw-in. Charbonnet at best is maybe a throw-in, but I don't think it's somebody that you attack necessarily with intentionality. You just wait it out.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to ET. He goes over to the Saints. What does this do for the market value of Etienne? How strongly do we feel about it? Is this keep him about the same? Does it drop him? Does it lower him? What's your thoughts on Etienne here, Jeremiah?
I think it's very much a lateral move, but it's a good move. It's firm foundation of the Saints who wanted him. So a team clearly went out and got him. I don't know how they did it with their money laundering issues and their cap issues, but last year we are with some Travis Etienne. It's just one of a cool split. If you have Etienne and Tuten in Dynasty, it's a blackjack split that Theo Greminger always talks about and refers to. So we're getting the bullish angle on Tuten. Of course, there could still be the draft, but this seemed to be like a 2-year process in waiting with Liam Cohen and the Jags, where they brought in Tuten, but Etienne balled out. So it's the best of both worlds for both. And here we have Etienne. I was thinking about it today. He's in the indoor NFC South in what's the Coors Field of the NFL in New Orleans, paired with somebody like Tyler Shuck. And I think that's a good spot to be in. The shootouts that are in the NFC South. Give me Etienne, and in that environment, I think he's just going to be cold out there. He's going to prosper, do very well.
Shiv, what's your thoughts on this Etienne? What does this do for his value? Up, down, the same? Are you interested, disinterested? What are you doing here?
Massive boost in value.
Massive boost in value?
Massive boost in
Why
value.
so?
Okay.
From Jacksonville, or just because that he liked, because we knew there was going to be a new landing spot and you like the new landing spot?
I really like the new landing spot. We're talking about Travis Etienne being in the offense that has produced some of the best fantasy production for all parties involved for the last 3 or 4 years, and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills because Kellen Moore is the guy. He's the fantasy boom. He's the new hotness, the Kyle Shanahan, the Sean McVay. He's done it over and over and over again. So we look at what, Austin Eckler was able to do in that abbreviated season before he got hurt with Kellen Moore. I mean, he was basically the RB2 in points per game. Then we shift over to Saquon. Saquon, all-time great season. You can say it's the offensive line or whatever. And then we go to New Orleans last year, and we all thought they were going to be one of the worst offenses in the league. Not only were they excellent, and they played with pace, and so they were averaging about 68 plays a game, but Tyler Shuck gave you 5 QB1 performances. Obviously, the team kind of wants to move on. They're telling you, as Jeremiah said earlier, they tell the truth about their intentions. So they're going to move on from Alvin Kamara. They gave him a 4-year, $52 million deal. So he gets $13 million a year. We talked about it on the free agency show. He was projected for about 6.5. So he got double what he's projected on the Spotrac market from the Saints. So, and we get the fast track with all of this positive signal going on. I think that this is a massive, massive win for Travis Etienne's value. I think it's a massive win for Travis Etienne dynasty owners. I think it's a massive win for the Saints offense because they get 3 years younger than Alvin Kamara with a back with, he's not as good as prime Alvin Kamara, but could he be 80% of that and get massive volume and handle 300 touches and do equivocate some of what he did in Jacksonville last year and probably potentially exceed that? Yes. I think this is a massive win for Travis Etienne today.
Yeah, he's coming in at player 80 overall in Superflex tight end premium, the running back situation, RB 18 currently. So guys like Saquon, Kyron, Christian McCaffrey, is he appropriately placed in the market right now above Javonte, above Scatterbo, above Jacobs, above Harvey? Is there some movement there for him, or you think that's appropriately placed right now?
I like that. I like that spot. I like that spot a lot because to me, Kyron would have been a safer bet because he's younger. He's got the contract security. He's in a better offense, no matter how you slice it. But him landing with the Saints, he's at RB 18. There's almost no way that if he's going to play 15 games, that he's going to finish as the RB 18. And it's right. This is a points in your lineup move where he could very easily be a top 10 running back in points per game and finish like as a top 5 running back overall with just how this offense functions. And it's just like I said, it's a great environment for fantasy. It's a great ecosystem. It's a great environment. They've gone and taken the steps to really rebuild that offensive line. And as long as Tyler Shuck's healthy, I think, Spencer Rattler doesn't throw the ball to running backs. That's just not something that he does. I can't, unless he's not healthy or the monster steal his powers again, I don't see how this completely backfires.
Yeah. Right here, we got the ADP tool kind of pulled up. This is not available on the website currently, but will be. You can kind of see Travis Etienne 712, RB22. So we have all the other players filtered out. RB22, 712. Now, this is obviously old ADP. That's going to jump up, right? Like we're talking about. We're going to see him kind of move up to probably closer to the RB18 kind of role, probably up a round or two. I think there's going to be a little bit more consumer confidence in Etienne. Go ahead, Jeremiah. I see you chopping at the bit there.
I'm so glad you brought this board up because as I'm looking at it, okay, the couple people around him seems fair, appropriately priced. But if you look at Quinshon Judkins and a Josh Jacobs, I almost think that we could get Etienne to jump in that patch over there towards a Judkins, towards a Josh Jacobs, where we're getting the better utilization. We're getting more of that pass catching ability. And to what Chef said, not finishing the 18 every single week in fantasy. Well, how does he do it with the players above him? I think you got to criticize and be a little bit more, just more of a microscope on the Quinshon Judkins scene with Cleveland. It's not really all roses there for sure. And then with Green Bay, Josh Jacobs, he's a warrior. He's a great player. But then again, we're getting a boost, as Chev was talking about, in that passing game in the indoor shootout environment for Etienne. So how it ends up looking is I think Etienne ends up there to not be the RB18 for at least this season.
I have in my calendar Thursday. There's going to be a pie to the face. Maybe you owe us a pie to the face. That's cool. I owe a pie to the face for sure, but I'm not really sure what that's in reference to. I'm sure there's other pies amongst people here as well. But on the other side, it makes Etienne a sell, says Greg here. I mean, I think if you're not a competitor, it could make him a sell.
Yeah, that's a great point. On the flip side of the market of what you can do with Etienne now, if your team is nowhere near competing for a championship in 26 and possibly 2027, you have the leverage to try to sell to a bona fide contender, and you're going to happily take, a late first plus to get out of the Etienne business so that you can continue this rebuild. Hopefully it comes with, something else and a player. So you're not just selling for a pick, and you can have some sort of equity there.
Yeah, he's 27 years old. So this is a gift if you want to sell. And if you're at that point in Dynasty where, hey, I'm a middling team, I'm trying to rebuild. That's a great point, as you said, Chev. On the other side, there's markets, and this is beautiful because buy side, sell side, you have a sell side opportunity there for Travis Etienne, which you may have, prior to last season, probably felt like you were holding the bag, and you just have to wear it sometimes, and you get another peak.
Yeah. PD says he's curious where the website's pulling its ADP from. We make our own ADP. We have several drafts all month long, and then every 30 days we update it with more ADP. So we have fast drafts, we have slow drafts. You can join the Discord. That's the best place to get in them. The Patreon gets first access. But yeah, we make our own ADP. So this isn't being pulled from anywhere except for from real drafts that we've completed here. Obviously, this is not reflecting the market that these free agent changes are going to have in it. But I just figured it was a good way to kind of look at some stuff here. But Bhayshul Tuten's the other side of this thing, and we mentioned him for a second there. So what is the fallout with Tuten here? I mean, obviously, Chev, you and I have talked about kind of almost threading the needle on Tuten here. So is it time to pull the trigger and get out at potential peak here? Because we're not confident that Jaguars won't bring in somebody else, or how are we viewing the market here on Tuten?
So with Tuten, you have one of the most valuable roles in the Liam Cohen offense is being a running back that's going to garner targets and carries, and he's a second-year player. I think that the price on both players, like the blackjack split that we alluded to earlier, Jeremiah alluded to earlier. Now, if you had both, and now you're saying, oh, well, I don't want to sell. I don't want to sell Bhayshul Tuten now. I could go higher. This has been the bell cow. We saw a resurgence from Etienne under Liam Cohen. We saw career highs in efficiency over, with Rachaad White, and we saw the emergence of Bucky Irving. So there's too many positive indicators for me to sell for anything less than a premium for Bhayshul Tuten right now. Now they could add someone else, and I think LaQuint Allen, who, going back to our discussions all the way back at the beginning of the year 2025, I liked LaQuint Allen a lot. He's also already earned a role as a pass catcher. A pass blocker. And I think that lends itself to him being able to be trusted. Remember, in college, he led the nation amongst running backs in receptions in 2025 with 64. So this is a guy that is going to earn more snaps, and that might be the biggest takeaway from here, because LaQuint Allen is probably in the three. I was looking through my rankings last night. I would bet you LaQuint Allen is below the 300s in terms of. But for Bhayshul Tuten, you waited this long, you got what you wanted. So why if you can't just live in here now, because you knew this was coming? If you listen to us, you said, hey, there could be a Tyjae Spears-esque bump the minute that we know Travis Etienne is no longer going to be in Jacksonville. And I'm being long-winded, but I really, really think that this is signal to where we could go far, far up from here.
Go ahead. We've Jeremiah, hop in here at any point, but yeah, it does feel like cheap Tuten is fun right now, cheap LaQuint Allen is fun right now.
Oh yeah, I echo what Chev said about the waiting principle. If you were already doing this for a year, you knew what was going to happen. And you have an opportunity. Granted, there's entry point wherever you got him in your rookie draft last year. Sure, you could sell for a higher price, but I actually think the higher price could end up being somewhere peaked. Hey, after September, you're 4 to 5 games into the season, and Tuten is a guy in the high-powered Jaguars, Liam Cohen offense, as Chev was talking about, and then you're able to ask anything that you want, because we know running backs in season, they gain so much more value because week to week, hey, I can get the pliability of 20 points on a given week, fired away, and then you're getting more liquidity in those picks that aren't so important. Right now, people have the rookie fever for the picks. So it's really, I don't think it's the best time for high value, even though there's a spike right now for Tuten. I think there's a higher peak for him. And if you waited this long, it's kind of silly to back out now. It's like,
Yeah.
don't you want to go through with it on prom night?
That's right. That's right. You just got to wear protection. Because you don't, 9 months could have a issue.
You better wear
Anyway.
latex because you don't want that latex. And I think I'm latex.
I was going to go there, and then I was like, maybe I'll let it go. But well done, sir. Tuten has already been on the rise because people have been kind of forecasting this. You can see he's up kind of 36 here. All right. Jonah Coleman is somebody in this draft, rookie fever, probably a late first round pick. Would we rather have a Jonah Coleman, who is right now, only a few spots away from Tuten, and we don't know the landing spot, or a Bhayshul Tuten right now, Chev?
That's a really tough one for me because I really like Jonah Coleman a lot. So, but I'm going to go with proof of concept, and I'm going to operate as though Bhayshul Tuten is going to be the primary ball carrier, or at least the lead 1A guy for this Jacksonville backfield in 2026, and I'll go Bhayshul Tuten.
Yeah,
Jeremiah,
fire up Bhayshul Tuten because we have clarity as it sits right now. Why play in anything vague? As much as we want to wish cast, as we said the prior scenario to Seattle, it's not written in pen, ink, or anything.
Yeah. So this is kind of maybe looking forward here. If we're looking at 27 early second or Bhayshul Tuten.
I think you can get more pliability from Tuten, time value of the player.
Yeah, I mean, Tuten could be worth a late first in 2027 just because how stacked that class is perceived to be right now. Like he's worth a late first right now today because of the Tajay Spears paradox, but he could be worth a 27 first in an awesome class if we just get him on the field being good at football.
Yeah. And if you haven't checked out the ffdynasty.com right now, what we've got pulled up is how we do the crowdsource rankings. It's much like a dynasty Tinder, if you will. It brings up people in the range. You swipe on it and you keep it moving. Right now, we're just doing swipes on Bhayshul Tuten. And here is Tuten or Coleman. I'm going to go Coleman here. You guys like Tuten. I understand, kind of the same probably vein as you were saying with that 27 second for Tuten versus Coleman potentially here. Does that make sense? Maybe get a little bit more out of Tuten this year.
Yeah.
They're very different players, how they go about their business. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. And prior to what we said, Jonah Coleman goes to Green Bay. It's parked. It's a 1 year. It's a Tuten plan just for the player in this scenario. And then Jonah Coleman goes to Seattle, and it's a different conversation.
All right. Tuten or Monungai?
Tuten.
All right.
Clear runway.
Tuten or Brenton Strange, tight end premium?
Oh, man. What's the premium?
0.5.
0.5. So Tuten.
Yeah, still Tuten.
Okay. Jadarian Price or Tuten?
Tuten. Coleman concept.
All right. Last one. Parker Washington or Tuten?
Shit.
I think I go Parker Washington just because proof of concept, what he's already done.
I'm having some aggressive visions. I told you I'm having some aggressive visions about Parker Washington.
He's catching. The boys like him. The boys like him.
Yeah.
I can feel it in my lungs.
No titty. All right, let's finish that one up. Let's keep it moving here.
Ready for market.
Let's keep it moving here. Let's go. You want to do Willis or Likely next? Actually, this is a good question real quick. Somebody up here asked, he just joined the show, as a 1-1 owner, where do you think Love's heading after some of these moves today? It's a good question.
Commanders or earlier. So Commanders, or then the Titans had a visit.
You think the Titans are taking Jeremiah Love?
Yes.
Okay. Would you be bummed if that happened?
From a fantasy perspective?
From just any perspective, take it however you want.
Real life. No, I would love it. I was super pumped when I'm team running backs are awesome. I don't buy into this spreadsheet bullshit that running backs don't matter and you can just get replacement level Tyler Algier and Kenneth Walker. It's the same production you can get for cheaper. Get out of here with that shit. Me personally, I think guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, I think he's that level of talent. Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Etienne, Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, all Saquon, all those guys. He's going to come in and make a splash like that.
Hey,
and I want it to be for my team.
Casey, Sheb is excited.
Yeah.
Sheb is really excited too because he's going to have Wan'Dale Robinson on his squad. So you'd love to see it.
I honestly, I would take a bowl full of soft serve and pour it on my head in the sauna. Okay. I did not want Wan'Dale Robinson, but we're here now. He's a Titan. I'll adjust. Whatever.
Hey, Cam Ward gets his Xavier Restrepo in the NFL. But one last note.
We had Xavier. We had Wan'Dale Robinson at home. We have Chimere DK.
That was McDowell's, man. Wan'Dale Robinson, 190 receptions.
The golden arc still worked, bro.
Baby. It's the real deal. It's the NFL, baby. Hey, one last note to the commenter's question. The Cardinals, there's clarity there as well, where they signed Tyler Algier and you muddy up that backfield with a restructure, James Conner, and then Trey Benson, and then you've got Tyler Algier. So that's one less.
Yes.
All right.
Former front office member of the Titans, Monty Ossenfort, doing the Lord's work and taking them out of the Jeremiah Love sweepstakes. I love to see it. Love to see it.
All right, let's talk about Willis to Miami here. How do we feel about that? We've talked Willis plenty on this show. We all like Willis. How do we view Malik Willis from a fantasy perspective moving into year one in Miami, Jeremiah?
It's just a fantasy football opportunity where, look, if you're in a keeper league or you're in a dynasty league where you've gotten a cheap entry point price for Willis, you are just over the moon right now because you're just going to get at least a year of guaranteed starts. Look, the Dolphins, how bad do you have to be to pay a guy $99 million not to play for you in Tua Tagovailoa? So this is just bullish for Malik Willis, and this is like a 10-bagger in stocks, but just for fantasy football, where you get Malik Willis at such the bag that you're holding, it's just 10 times heavier in a good way because of how much profit you're about to experience. And am I a little concerned about what would be the reception angle for somebody like a Devon Etienne? Sure. Let's see how the dump offs go. But I'm very happy for the path on somebody like a Malik Willis because we see structure set for NFL teams constantly mess up. And we saw Sam Darnold right in play, Exhibit A, the highest level. We have quarterbacks all the time. Geno Smith had a recovery in his career. Baker Mayfield. The list goes on and on. A lot of them go to the Shanahan school or the McVay school clipboard, but you see how things work out. LaFleur, not too far off in Green Bay. Green Bay has been a quarterback factory. Now, of course, the question is, does this become Matt Flynn where, hey, we just pulled the slot and we cashed out big? Or is this a continuation for a longer career for Malik Willis? I'm happy for his third stop, but it's his second, chapter here in the NFL. I'm thrilled about it. So I love it for fantasy. I think on a given week, you get anywhere to a back end QB1 to a middle QB2 with the rushing upside.
How do you feel about this, Chev? He's got some familiarity, some comfortability, and what is really like a pretty big stop for him. Like he's going here, he's getting some money. He's kind of rehabilitated his career a little bit, and then Miami, again, some comfortability with GM and head coach. Obviously, Slowick doesn't know him, although in a Shanahan system, it does seem like somebody who could be a benefactor of it, can move around a little bit, can complete the deep ball. He's accurate. There's just not a whole lot of tape down of saying that we're super confident in it. So how do you see this chapter playing out for Malik Willis?
I think that if they can shore up the offensive line enough to just give him the ability to move through a progression and then use his legs, I think this is going to be really good for fantasy. I saw the Justin Fields 2.0. That's the rushing floor could be similar to that, but I think that Malik Willis has spent the time on task with a bona fide, really good offensive mind and schemer in Matt LaFleur, so that we don't have the same shell shock things that we had with Sam Darnold with the Jets, Daniel Jones with the Giants. He's done the quarterback rehab, and I think that if they can just support him to just even a baseline average degree, he's going to be a middling to low end QB1 because of the rushing upside. And then this leads to a resurgence for Jalen Waddle. This leads to potentially Malik Washington breaking out. If they add someone in the draft, even better. If they add someone of significance on day 1 or day 2 in the draft, he's in the best environment to succeed outside of being with a bona fide quarterback guru. So I'm really excited about how this plays out.
Yeah. Again, LaFleur comes from both Shanahan and McVay, right? He's got a combo platter of them. And then Slowick has ties back to Shanahan in there. And then all these guys, the defensive head coach that they hired and their GM are both from Green Bay, right? So that's where the comfortability of maybe them, of Willis not feeling like there's a lot like, hey, we know each other. They brought me in because they know what I can do. So there's confidence there. It's not like, hey, this might be a one and done. So I think some things line up really good. It's just, what are going to be the weapons around him to help him flourish? Right now it's Waddle and Etienne, and we don't really have a clear picture of much else. How good's the line is a part of it, but Willis can create a little bit on his own to buy some time. So, Miami, we've seen, plenty of quarterbacks come back and like you said, complete rehab and stay off the shit. And is that what we're going to get here? I don't know that I trust Miami enough yet as a franchise. They got to do what Jacksonville just did, or even to Carolina to some extent, of like, hey, we've changed too. Like they need franchise rehab. And I think maybe those guys are the guys. But again, to quarterback is just such an environmental product that it's just it's the most difficult thing to predict. And I think Willis has the ability to do that. Now, do you sell high, or is this like, hey, if I could get a middle first round pick for him in 26 or a random 27, are we selling Willis, or how are we riding this out?
I think you should,
or Chev, whoever wants to take it.
Well, this is funny enough. Chev and I are in a league, and I sent him something like a second and another player for Malik Willis. This was early in the offseason, and Chev astutely said, I'm going to wait it out because there's going to be another peak. And sure enough, he knew that I know that we knew this would happen. And he got the bag, he got the contract. I think this is absolutely a point where you sell for the random 27 or a middle to high 26, depending on how people feel. It's nothing wrong with cashing out, especially based on your build. If you have somebody like a Malik Willis and you're a very good team, you probably have depth, and you had him for a cheaper acquisition cost. So now the exponential value in the rise, where you could scaffold and build your team at other positions, I think you absolutely have to sell. It's a great spot to sell, and you pray for opportunities like this. Hopefully we'll get that with somebody like a Mac Jones, who was very free as well. And I think there were opportunities last year, albeit it ended up in injury, but Daniel Jones actually provided that as well. So you get a buoyed system. You have opportunities to get out. It doesn't mean players are always dead. Sometimes you just have to hold them for a while.
Yeah, and right here, we're looking at the ADP tool at the ffdynasty.com. He's at 912. I think there's some factor that he was going to be a free agent and land somewhere already built into a lot of this. I don't know how much more climbing we see from Malik Willis here. Now that there's stability and an answer, maybe it's a round or two. Would you guys rather have Michael Penix or Malik Willis moving forward?
Did we not get some news about Tua in Atlanta?
Right. Well, he's coming off an injury, both left-handed. He's free. So yeah, there's certainly some conversation to be had there. But so what's Penix or
for what's on the legs? I'll take, for the rushing upside, the fantasy viability, somebody like a Malik Willis, especially in a 4-point format.
Chev?
Yeah, that pains me. If I feel like I'm betraying Captain Durag, but
Yeah,
I
you've been
don't think
loyal.
we
You've
can
been
get.
good to him.
I don't think we can get a late first for Michael Penix right now.
That's fair. That's fair. I believe in Michael Penix a whole lot. I would stick with Penix here, but I mean, maybe we don't even see Penix for half of a year or a whole year if Tua goes in there and plays all right. You know,
Well, that's my.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good. Go ahead.
No, if we're talking making more than a 1 year bet, I think I still believe in Penix the talent. I'm nervous about the who, what, where, when, why of how he's going to be on the field. And if I want to sell for anything right now, I don't feel like I can sell. I feel like I can get more from Malik Willis right now today than I can for Michael Penix. And that's why I would go Malik Willis right here.
Much more excitement. I like the tier down to Penix. What else can I get on top with coming from Willis? Like that's kind of a move I don't mind making there. Buy low on Penix, see if I can get something in between to bridge that gap and get a little, because I do think eventually they'll end up either being the same or I think advantage Penix. Maybe Malik comes out and just shuts it down and is just, one of these 4th, 5th round quarterbacks here in a year or two. But like you'd rather have guys like Shuck, Darnold, Cam Ward all over Malik Willis right now.
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, question, Casey. Would you tier down, same principle, Malik Willis down to JJ McCarthy, and what would you want in addition? Or do you just get away, run away right away?
I don't want to do that.
Okay, cool. Same page. Just wanted to check.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. Me and JJ have never been that cool. I like the landing spot and I like the weapons. Always thought maybe it was a little overrated, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You can't win them all, but that one right now looks good. But I mean, hey, he could end up being really solid. So let's keep it moving here because we're running out of time here. Let's quickly go over to Isaiah Likely and how we feel like that value is and has moved, and whether we're out on that. Chev, I'll kick it to you first.
Why are you going to me first?
Because I think you're earlier. I think you're going to be a little bit in the negative town here, which I think is good.
Yeah, I've got my player hater goggles on, and I was really bummed out by this signing. Just being totally honest with you, I was really bummed out, and I expressed as such. I can't create a path to 110 targets for him now. I think he's one of the most talented pass catching tight ends in the league. I think if he's given the opportunity, he would be able to perform. And now, it's just, are he and Theo Johnson going to cannibalize each other? There's still Darius Slayton there. I did not want this landing spot. I was hoping that maybe Tampa stepped in and let Cade Otton go, and then, really gave him a chance to be that secondary, tertiary option in an offense, because I do believe he's a mismatch nightmare. So maybe they figure it out, but I also have way less faith because I think Matt Nagy sucks as a play caller, and this was just not an environment that I wanted him to land in. So I was personally really, really saddened by this because I wanted him to go somewhere where I could create a path to 100 to 120 targets, because I think he's that good. Like if you turn Dalton Schultz targets in Houston to Isaiah Likely targets, he's a top 3 tight end. Like I will die on that hill, and we'll never know. So I don't have to die on that hill, but I genuinely believe that. And if you ask me that, I will tell you that I think that he's one of the best tight ends in the league, and he's just never going to get the type of volume that is great from a real fantasy perspective.
What do you think, Jeremiah?
You can put Likely over Theo Johnson, but the fact of the matter is they're close enough where they're just going to both be on the field, so you don't get enough of that separation set that you'd like, and it's just a kind of a tough spot. This is, I guess, akin to Tyler Algier going to the Cardinals and us being like, man, just not really quite what we wanted. It's okay, it's just not great. It's really not the best. Same thing for Isaiah Likely. It does help, though. The sneaky, reflexive part of it is the fact that Jackson Dart just gets another weapon in the chamber that you can build upon. And then if we compound it with somebody like a Carnell Tate in the draft, and you have Malik Neighbors, this would be phenomenal. Sneaky winner, Cam Scatterbo,
for
riding
sure.
out some of that wave. So we'll see. There, things can still happen, but winners right now are Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo.
Yeah, Anglo Assassin has a dodges some bullets here. Looks good. But
shit.
I got to disagree on the likely take here. I think this is great. I think he goes again. There's familiarity here, and while I love Theo, I thought Theo was going to break out. I do think that there's similarities in the two players, but I think they just paid Likely, and Likely's going to get the advantage here. Like we're going to see, like they don't have if they draft for now. I really like it. If they draft another high end player in the first round here, and it's a Tate or something, I like this a lot less. But you're going to bring in Likely here. We've seen him have flashes with Harbaugh. Now, obviously, Harbaugh's not running the offense, but liked him enough to bring him in, give him some money, right? I think you can line him up in the slot, which they did some in Baltimore. Yeah. I think like they don't have another target right now, and I think he's basically just a souped-up wide receiver at the tight end position. So, which I think Theo is as well. So, like the redundancy there, I think just hurts Theo more than it hurts Likely, because to me this is like, and I don't love the follow the money thing all the time, but it just makes more sense that Likely is going to get the advantage to get first crack at things, and I think Likely with an opportunity is going to run with it.
I can't see it. I can't look from a real life perspective. We're gonna see more of Isaiah Likely than we have at any point in his career in Baltimore. Does that turn into more than 70 targets? I don't know. I don't think so.
Any last thoughts, Jeremiah, before we move on? We'll try to get a couple more things in before we wrap up today's live, and we'll be back on Wednesday live, and then me and Chev will have another recorded session on free agents. So we're going to be free agents all week long. If we don't get to something that you guys are wanting, we're going to hop over to Patreon after this and talk more free agents. So
this just boosts up Jackson Dart. It's really it siphons off too much. There's too much siphoning that's happening with Theo Johnson. I don't think you can just disregard Theo Johnson. It's going to be a situation where in the red zone, Jackson Dart, it'll be one or the other, and you'll be pissed because you'll be like, all right, is it 88 Goddard? Is it 86 Ertz? And then the way they turn, you're like, oh, damn it. It's Goddard when you wanted Ertz, and it's Ertz when you wanted Goddard.
Likely or Trey Benson?
Oh, okay, Likely.
I mean,
after all that.
Likely or Kittle? Kittle's really down in the rankings right now, obviously hurt and old.
I'll still go Kittle. He's not dead yet.
Jacoby Myers or Likely? Tight end premium, 0.5.
Likely.
Pat Bryan or Likely?
Likely.
Brenton Strange.
Strange.
Likely.
Strange.
Jadarian Price.
Yeah, that was yeah.
I'm going.
You're on
Likely.
a list now.
Yeah, that's
you're
fine.
on He's on a list.
I think if Strange can get a ton of volume and enough to make him relevant, then Likely's got to be getting more volume than Strange is.
Well, who's the Theo Johnson in the Jacksonville Jaguars offense, though?
Like they just paid? What I'm saying is they just paid Likely though. So why are they taking Theo off the field?
All right.
Or why are they taking Likely off the field rather?
I follow. That's fair. I don't agree. It's fair, but it's
Jadarian Price or Likely.
Likely.
Well,
we don't know any. We don't know.
I'm going to go Price. I think Price, but again, it can sound crazy because before I was like, it could be vague, but I'll risk it with Price versus Likely. I don't think Likely is going to make the Pro Bowl.
Surratt or Likely?
Surratt.
Ooh, a lot of Surratt haters out there. Ooh, Jalen McMillan or Likely. There's a fun one. Mike Evans to San Fran. McMillan heating up at the end of last year. McMillan time, or are we going Likely?
Give me Jalen McMillan. Baker Mayfield gets healthy again. And if we don't get the draft capital as it sits right now, it's McMillan and Ibuka. Ibuka, huge boost.
Chef?
Sorry, I just got really excited.
Who you going here?
I'll go Jalen McMillan.
All right. Let's finish that one up. All right, let's talk. I think there was some Harvey questions in there. I think people are interested in that. Is there any other thing that y'all want to get to before we wrap this up? Because I do want to talk about Denver and Harvey and all that. So is there anything else that you want to bring up here?
Yeah, Mike Evans, San Francisco 49ers. How pumped are we? The people who were on Ricky Pearsall as, hey, there's nobody else. How did you ever think that was going to stand? I always thought that was just bizarre and crazy. you can be in on Ricky Pearsall, but to expect and think that it's just going to be the Ricky Pearsall show and that was what was going to lift him, I thought was absolutely asinine. Now, it does put in a little puncture to late round 1 wide receiver draft capital, but we do see Brandon Ayuk on the way out, but we get Mike Evans, who can catch 80 balls this year. You know, he's been a 70 to 80 catch guy, hits the 1,000-yard mark, and then can go ham, double-digit touchdowns. Can we get 80 to 90 receptions in a Kyle Shanahan offense being thrown from Brock Purdy? I am enamored. For the receiver position, I think it's more impactful than Alec Pierce for fantasy. Like week 1, who are you going to want? Alec Pierce, and week over week in 2026. Alec Pierce or Mike Evans, to me, it's not even close. So I'm very fired up for just the immediacy of somebody like a Mike Evans.
Yeah, I mean, to me, obviously Mike Evans and Juwan Jennings are not gonna operate as far as like what Juwan Jennings does, but like I feel like that's the replacement. It's obviously, I think it's a big upgrade. Maybe not so much in tenacity and maybe run blocking of kind of what Juwan does, but like you're going to be able to get Mike on those third downs. You're going to be able to get Mike in the red zone, whereas he can use that size and his rebound ability to do things and continue drives. So I don't think there's a first round wide receiver to San Francisco, although certainly could be. But to me, I think this is a nice play. San Francisco to me right now is like that dynasty team who has been good for the last 7 years, and people are just waiting and dying for that. When are you going to rebuild? And they just keep adding the older pieces and getting to the playoffs, and they got a chance to win, right?
I didn't hear no bell.
Right. And at the same time, they've been kind of adding some younger pieces throughout that can be effective, and this will be a big draft for them to kind of see where this goes. But I think this is a fun ad for San Francisco.
Hey, we got somebody in the comments talking about Evans. Can we get him on the field for 50% of the games? We're talking about almost every year except last year he played 13 or more games. So what are we talking about?
Hashtag Warrior.
Bias. Yeah.
It's just it's the hamstring issues. It's the games where he would just come in and then be just on the field for one catch for 1 yard and a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's the consistent soft tissue injuries that worry me. Otherwise,
sure.
If you said
Juwan Jennings is the same. So
yeah, I mean, you upgraded to a Hall of Fame receiver that probably is going to play more of a prominent role in the red zone with the uncertainty surrounding Kittle. So I'm good on all fronts there. It feels kind of weird to say Mike Evans is a 49er. It's
the substation.
Hey, it is a substation. Hey,
Mike Evans with that substation. No good.
Oh my God, bro. His hamstrings are going to turn into string cheese. That's tough.
Yeah.
We did get JP Tay. Hopefully I said that right. He has Rico and the Steelers backfield guys to finish, please.
Yeah. Well, let's do Harvey first.
Okay.
And that Dobbins comes back. This is all best. There's still people thinking that the Broncos are adding more to this backfield. I think this is just as simple as we dabbled in there. We did our due diligence to see if we could get this luxury item. It didn't work out. We bring Dobbins back. We have Harvey. We go back at this thing, right? I don't know that there's very much more coming into Denver outside of, ancillary pieces like, of some, like, could Keaton Mitchell end up in Denver? Certainly, just like just pulling a name out that's cheap and whatever that could go right. That could happen, but nobody else who's going to, I think, be detrimental to what Harvey could do in the touches. So Jeremiah, hop in here.
Oh, I'm very happy about RJ Harvey. I think that's just great for his value. It's the best thing that could have happened. We were talking about maybe it could be Breece Hall, it could be Kenneth Walker. There were some bigger names out there. Fear Street was out there. It was real for RJ Harvey. If the best that we're going to get as far as competition is a J.K. Dobbins, I think that's actually great for year 2 growth for an RJ Harvey. And it's kind of better the devil that kind of like Jonathan Brooks. If he just has somebody like a Chuba Hubbard and you don't get outside competition to come in Carolina, it's more bullish for somebody like Jonathan Brooks. So I like that for year 2 on RJ Harvey. It was about to be real bad if it was going to be that aggressive in the running back front. And then it also protects with Denver going for Dobbins. I don't think they go after a running back in the NFL draft. I think they're set in a good way, and it gives me a better indication as a RJ Harvey holder. Much more happy.
Yeah, you got to be all the RJ Harvey people rejoice at this point. Although, you know, I didn't. If Brees comes in, it is what it is. What could you do? It's good for the Broncos. But other than that, it seemed like Harvey was going to have the role that he just had, and you know, continue to build on it, because that's what he did this past season, right? Do you have any thoughts here?
Acting like RJ Harvey's topped out as a player is a huge mistake. It was nonsensical. The minute that these rumors about Brees popped up, you had people popping out saying, "Oh, it was a terrible pick. He's a terrible pick for fantasy, and he's never going to be good." And
he's just mid.
He's just, he can't run between the ties. It's like, man, players grow, players develop. And there was a stretch where he was 19 points a game when it was just him, Dolo, in the backfield. And I think it's going to be more of a split between he and J.K. Dobbins than it was to get off the ground last year. Full off season, learning the offense, ingratiating himself into the offense. RJ Harvey could be one of the most misvalued players based on what his skill set is and what the role for his offense that he plays. So he could very well exceed this. And I mean, let's not pretend like he just wasn't good for fantasy.
Yeah. No, he did a lot of what we expected him to do. The reason that we liked Harvey was the safe PPR floor of what the Sean Payton has traditionally offered to running backs. And all of a sudden, I think nobody was putting him as this great receiving back, and all he did was come out there and continue to ball out as a receiving running back. And oh, by the way, get better at running between the tackles as the season went on. And, you know, yes, maybe they add a Sean Tucker, somebody mentioned in there. That's certainly a possibility. You know, there's a couple of other options, and maybe they add somebody in the draft, and maybe we're not done with the RJ Harvey saga necessarily, but I think Sean Payton's more than happy with RJ Harvey. It's just, this is what he does, right? This is, we get two backs. This is, but to go back there and it's very disingenuous because you didn't like Harvey before to continue to saying that he's mid and you should sell him is, you know, I think a little crazy. So RJ Harvey or Jordan Addison?
Harvey.
RJ Harvey or Travis Etienne?
I think you gotta give credit to Etienne.
RJ Harvey or Devonta Smith?
Smitty.
I think, and may I say, is Devonta Smith maybe the best buy right now? Of just like, worst case scenario, he stays where he is and the price is fine. Best case scenario, they move on and he's just got a ton of volume. You know, I don't know. I got that written down in my notes.
I've had that same thought because I was going back and forth with someone who I can't even remember, but we were on Twitter X as usual, and someone said that oh, JSN, there's a chasm of talent difference between JSN and Devonta Smith. And I had to remind him about who the fuck Devonta Smith was.
Right.
And it just hasn't been. So I went back, and anytime he's gotten double-digit targets, it's basically about 95 yards a game and like 0.75 touchdowns is the average.
Right.
So that's not far off from what JSN was on a 17-game pace. So he's that talented. He is that good. He could be the centerpiece of an offense. It's just never played out. And now because we've looked at him and he's finished as a wide receiver 9 overall before, and it's been kind of quiet for the last couple of years, we forget that he's one of the most talented, most decorated wide receivers of the past decade.
I don't know if you can read that, but I got it written in my notes.
You got that. You snuck that Pat Freiermuth on there.
I was just about to say, moving on to the Steelers. I was about to move on to the Steelers and be like, and by the way, I think Pat Freiermuth also might be a really good cheap buy right now. But I was doing some rookie stuff and just started thinking about or free agent stuff rather, and rookie stuff, and just started thinking about Devonta Smith, and then I was like, man, Pat Freiermuth, also very good buy. All right, let's move on to the Steelers because we got to get out of here. We got to wrap this up. We're already running a little bit long here. So obviously, Jay really wants me to just tell you how dumb I am for Caleb Johnson. So Jay, I'm dumb for telling you Caleb Johnson's good. I think that's just what you want, so I'm gonna give it to you. But Rico Dowdle signs to the Steelers. Definitely stinks. It hurts. I have no reason to change my opinion on Caleb necessarily. just McCarthy and Rico know each other a little bit, and you're bringing in some comfortability there to know that you have security at running back. And unfortunately, nothing has really broken the way that Caleb Johnson needed it to break for him to have an impact. Things went wrong a whole bunch of times. Some of it his fault, some of it everything out of his control, right? And, hey, just look at guys like a Rico Dowdle and look at guys like that of if you want to try to have some Caleb sensibility for later, there is still a probability that it happens. It just, I think this is what you want, and that I was wrong for sure on Caleb Johnson. I was wrong. Well, pretty much my worst call since Akeem Butler. So, but hey, by the way, you're welcome for, I don't know, Travis Hunter. You're welcome for Woody Marks. You're welcome for Arande Gadsden. You're welcome for a whole bunch of other things throughout, the whole process last year. Chase Brown, Kyron Williams, Bucky Irving, all the, you're welcome. But hey, I will gladly, I'll take my L's. I don't mind it. I was a little hopeful, but hey, I was wrong as hell. And here we are. So y'all boys take this away.
Okay.
You're calling a timeout.
Yeah. It's important to note that this is not just us looking at a spreadsheet and saying, well, he had a high missed tackles forced and breakaway run rate. And we really, really liked what we saw on film. The team liked him enough to make him a day 2 pick. Now, all of that went to hell in a handbasket, but also this is an organization that has a history of just completely shelving running backs for a year, a Rashard Mendenhall, and then coming out and earning a role. Now, it's much less likely that happens now that Rico Dowdle's there. Rico Dowdle has a familiarity with Mike McCarthy. I believe Jalen Warren is on the last year of that 2-year extension that he signed. So, again, it's delayed, not denied. You can't convince me that Caleb Johnson just sucks at football. I will not be convinced. It's like people trying to convince me that Traylon Burks sucks at football. Like, we don't have enough information to say he sucks. Like, he does cool stuff when he's out there. It just hadn't happened yet. So, unrelated but related, like I said, the point being that Rico Dowdle kind of ruins everything for everybody. Now, I had Jalen Warren as a sneaky buy just because nobody's going to talk about it, and Mike McCarthy offenses are typically good for fantasy goodness from a running back perspective. But now we're splitting that down the middle at best with Rico Dowdle, who runs like a man possessed for stretches of time and looks like the best. It looks like prime Tony Dorsett, or, pick your favorite running back that's all-time great. So I don't know what to do with this backfield right now. I got to sit in here in the dark and pray about it for a long time, and then hopefully the answer comes down to me in a darkness retreat like Aaron Rodgers. Speaking of which, is Aaron Rodgers coming back? Because that would be maybe the best possible outcome to maximize all this for one more year.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at Rico Dowdle at 192 Superflex 10 premium crowdsource rankings right now. People have been down on him a little bit. You can see he's down 20 spots. This is a guy who just, when he gets his opportunities, he does his thing, right? So he's been very good to me over the last couple of years for the price that you had to pay for him. Yep. And so being familiar with McCarthy, we'll kind of see. Jeremiah, any closing thoughts here on Pittsburgh, Rico, all that kind of stuff? Because we gotta wrap this up. And again, we'll be live. We'll be live Wednesday, and me and Chev are going to record some more stuff on rookies on Tuesday. So plenty of talk coming up. Join us Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be on Patreon right after this. Sorry, Jeremiah, go ahead.
No, it was good. Look, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for Benson and Rico Dowdle. And for Dowdle, the beauty is you're going to get an opportunity, because I'm convinced he got squeezed in Carolina. There was something that was just kind of funny down the stretch where it just did not continue with the usage, whether it be the hot hand, what have you, Chuba Hubbard having more favorability. Maybe Dowdle was, adamant, I want the damn rock. And I think we're going to get a little bit more of a match where I'm excited. It's that pairing with McCarthy to where they know each other. And we're going to get more of that, where I really hope that Dowdle does not get squeezed like he did in Carolina. I'm convinced he did. And there were a lot of numbers left on the field, in fantasy points left on the field for a Rico Dowdle. So I'm very excited about him going to Pittsburgh.
Rico Dowdle or Jacoby Lane?
Dowdle.
Jacoby Lane.
So rookie 2 2.4, 2.6 ish super flex tight end premium.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're going Rico on that, Jeremiah?
Yeah.
Okay. You like Lane on that? I'll take.
yes.
We're gonna skip that one because we don't have time.
Never Brand. Never
We
Brand.
don't have time for
Never
that.
Brand. Nope. Not if there's a fire, dude. Nope.
Rico Dowdle or Cortland Sutton?
It's Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, it's Sutton. He's the one.
Elijah Arroyo or Rico Dowdle? Right now, we got to lean Rico, right?
Rico.
Yeah.
Opportunity.
Leaning that way. Late second and 27, Rico. Tony Pollard or Rico?
Rico.
Especially if Jeremiah Love is.
I like TP, but I'll roll with you. It's Seti Till or Rico Dowdle?
Rico.
Rico or Tesla? We're going to go Rico. So obviously Rico's down. All right, Rico Dowdle or Mac Jones?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones, baby. Give me that utility. It's only going to
Mac
get better.
Jones. Who?
Mac Jones.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody for joining us. Anything else you guys want to quickly get in before we wrap up tonight?
No.
Appreciate you guys for joining us. Appreciate you guys for joining us. We had a different show planned for tonight that wasn't going to be live, but we figured, hey, this thing was moving fast. We wanted to get on here, talk about it. Please join us again on Wednesday. We're going to be live 8:30. We're going to be talking plenty more about this, answering questions from you guys, and we'll get to plenty more things that you guys have mentioned in these comments. Just didn't have enough time tonight. Again, a pre-recorded show on Tuesday that'll probably drop Wednesday morning for me and Chev. And then, hey, we're going over to Patreon right now, going to talk more about these guys. So appreciate you guys. We'll catch you next time. Peace.